Hi, people. I'm excited coming your way again this week. And you always know it's always vibes upon vibes. And today we are unlocking vibes. So, once again, I want to welcome you, especially to Gist Me podcast. And I'm doing this with two of my favorites, Blue Green Ivy and Selassie. And we are having an interesting conversation today around setting of goals. I know it sounds a bit corporate and all that, but it's important as youth, as a people, we need to have goals. So we'll be taking the thoughts of my guests on what they think goals are and whether or not it is important to even set it. But before we move into this conversation, I have an interesting question I want to ask them, like I always do. This will drift them a little from the topic. But so let me start with Ivy. Hello, Ivy. Good to see you. Yeah,
you want my matter?
Yes, because the boys they talk see these are the streets where then they talk. See some of the girls they don't get shishi.
What be shishi?
They don't get pa.
Make you use them so I understand
Nothing. They don't get nothing.
Nothing. I like get it.
Get it. But
l'argent.
they want to make the boys provide everything for them. Since them are fathers, no, they
Don't go fit provide
for them. They won't make the boys. So the boys say they're stressed.
That matter hard.
So no, in some few seconds, tell me why you people they do that. Then promise on behalf of the people say challenge you go take them easy on the guys. Also that's the lie.
Honestly, it's so unfortunate I cannot speak on behalf of my gender.
Yeah.
But I personally I think it's not a good thing. To expect from the next person what you yourself cannot afford for yourself. I think it's only fair that if you expect from the other person, you should be able to do it for yourself.
Okay.
And if you don't expect, do it for yourself. If the person wants to do for you, fine.
So you're saying that you don't ask from someone what you cannot do for yourself?
Yes, if it's not something that, especially when the person has no responsibility towards that.
Okay.
If the person is your boyfriend, a friend, like so there's certain things it's not their responsibility, so don't burden them.
Yeah.
If your parents can't even do, like I don't think it's fair. Though there will be some exceptions, like in general terms, it's not fair.
Okay. But recently there was I think some few months ago, I mean a renowned actress, producer. She's been very strong on it that ladies should not help their boyfriends out. They should not cook for them. They should just take from them. I don't know. I don't remember the full story, but it was something around that sort of thing.
Don't go and cook and clean.
Then clean, yes.
I think it depends.
It depends.
I don't think it's a straight jacket thing. If you go and then you see the need to do it, you can do it. But I don't think it's your responsibility.
So that's the point.
Yes, it's not your responsibility.
Okay.
In as much as it's not the guy's responsibility to take care of you, it's not your responsibility to go and be doing cleaning for the guy.
That's right.
For me, I think my saying has always been, before you met me, you should be doing things for yourself.
True.
So it's not as if me clean you and I say, when I about my life,
okay.
Before we met, I was living my own life. I was taking care of whoever was taking care of me was there. Before you met me, you were eating, you were cleaning, you were washing. So if we've met, we don't leave that responsibility for each other to do, just because when we are a couple, we kind of, that's our responsibility. But if we are not there yet, let's just stay within what we are.
So it's not as if it's totally wrong.
Yeah,
it's not something that we should just write it off or discourage people who want to do it from doing it. But nobody should, I mean,
make it look like it's a responsibility. And then if if you're a lady and you are depend on the guy for survival, then I think it's a contract. So as you take the l'argent,
you have to also do it.
I think for that one it's fair. You can't spend the money and say it's not my responsibility. No, at that point it is.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Charlie, thanks for your thoughts on that. You want to add something on that? Yes, let's hear you.
So I think most of the ladies do that because of influence and pressure from their peers.
Oh,
yes. A boyfriend bought me this.
Okay.
Boyfriend bought me that. Look at my hair. Range Rover.
Yeah.
And you yourself, just look within.
Yeah.
That's not that ground to me, though. And you're expecting your man to get you all those things that your friend's boyfriend, So it's, if you notice, most of the ladies is more of competition a challenge.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. An unhealthy one, of course.
You see, my friend's boyfriend bought her this. I also want that. In fact, I want what's more than that. And as the man, if you don't stand your grounds to say no to certain things, you end up being stressed out.
That's true, though.
Yeah.
So I think that some men are failing to be the leaders they have been created to be.
Yes.
So
you can always say no.
Yeah.
And whatever, deal with it.
It doesn't make you wicked, right?
No. If you can't, you can't. You shouldn't stress yourself.
Wow, amazing.
But one last thing, I don't know whether it's the kind of people I roll with or because I don't roll with so many women. But honestly, when you guys say this, I try to
figure picture
where you are walking with.
Charlie.
Honestly, because I'm like, where did they meet all these girls? Like, because I have difficulties appreciating what you guys are saying.
But I mean, we know. I don't want to go into it. So we know, so Charlie, the guys start the roll with, the IVs and
leave me alone.
so that you don't get stressed. But straight on, let's move into setting of goals. I want us to look at first. Let's understand what goal setting is. Okay, so let's start from there. Then we look at, so we can take it. We can take these two questions in one. What goal setting is and how important is goal setting to we as a youth? I want us to restrict the discussion to the youth. Okay. So what is your take on goal setting and how important is it? Let's start with Selassie.
Okay. So I'll say goal setting is just laying out certain things that you want to achieve in the near future.
Okay.
And adhering to it and making sure you achieve it at all costs. That is, I'm not giving additional definition here, but from a layman's point of view, that is what I'll say goal setting is. And it is very, very important in the life of everyone.
Okay.
But particularly the youth, because we are now coming up. Our fathers, our grandfathers, they've done what they can. We are now coming up. So it's very important for every youth to set goals in their life and make sure you adhere and follow to those goals. Make sure you achieve them. That way, one, you can track your progress as a person, how far you've come, what's left for you to do, what you did wrong, all those things. It puts you in check.
Okay.
So goal setting is very, very important for every youth.
All right. So that's interesting. Some interesting points there. Blue green.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hear you.
So there's a saying that if you don't know where you're going, every road leads to that place.
That's true.
And each of the road will come with their own setbacks, advantages, and all that. But if you knew where you were going, you wouldn't stress going on the wrong road and find out, I'm not on the right road. You probably go straight to the point and get to your destination earlier.
Charlie, that's a what for the person now? Okay, Charlie. Charlie, because boys, you are not too like.
Oh, No, you see.
I mean,
No, you see,
it's okay.
I don't think the fact that you know where you're going doesn't mean you might not go through so many routes.
Okay.
Because at times there might be that offer car do baby abesi afa car for fraud. You have to pick the road is not so accessible. You have to pick a motor or walk or
That's
those
true.
Those are there.
Yeah.
You are still on track.
Yes.
Just that the means and the
to
process
get there.
it's different. But there's a situation whereby you don't even know where you are going. So you might be going to a showman and you hear La Paz,
and then you
join.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So that's how goal setting is, and that's the significance of it.
Okay.
So goal setting is, okay, this is me.
Yeah.
Where do I want to see myself in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, the next 10 years, in all aspects of my life.
Okay.
In my relationship, in my religious life, in work. If you are still schooling or you want to go to school, in academia, in your personal well-being, like you being a better person.
Yeah.
Like maybe the way you reason, the way you do your things. At times, maybe you sit there and analyze and realize that, oh, as a mention that they made the deal, I want to learn how to eat well. All these things. So after you've realized all these things about yourself, you set a goal. You tell yourself, okay, in the next year I want to be this, or I want to achieve this in this aspect of my life. That is when you are saying you are setting a goal. And its significance is that when you don't have any plan, you just move around.
Yeah. So your goals serve as a plan.
It's like and it guides roadmap. You in the way you do your things.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to be, let's say, I'm looking for the proverb.
It looks like of late you've been giving us a lot of proverbs.
No, I like proverbs. Yeah. But the what I'm trying to say, let me just use English to. If you are born to be an elephant or you are born to be a king, you don't go working with slaves.
That's true.
So you.
Challenge about Joseph. See, I mean, I just want to find. But I mean, Joseph was born to be great, yeah. But Joseph needed to go through slavery.
That is, it's not that you know. You see, I think these are two different contexts. God can, or your life, like you're saying, the fact that you're going to your destination doesn't mean
yeah. But the proverbs you were giving.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that you know where you are going.
Okay.
So you don't drift and go do something else.
Okay.
That is what I'm trying to say. So if your vision is to become like an elephant, you don't go playing with and aim this on elephant.
So okay, that's fine. I'm just getting examples like David, for example. David was supposed to kill Goliath. David was in the bush.
He didn't go there himself. His father sent him there.
To go and be with the.
But then he was being trained.
He was being trained.
Yes.
Yeah. So the point I wanted to make is that sometimes this path of slavery could just be a system, a process you need to go through.
So that is why I'm saying that you see. If your plan is to be an elephant, and I will still go back to the issue of you are going somewhere, and you are using the means of transportation. You might use a car at a point. You might use a train at a point. You might use a trotro at a point. All those things come in your life to build you, to mold you.
That's true.
So if along your journey you happen to meet slaves along the line,
it's just a process.
It's just a process. But you don't go and look for the slaves. You don't go and look for the slaves. If you meet the slaves on your way, it's part of the process. But if you go on the wrong way and you meet the slaves, it's not part of your process.
That's true. That's true. That's fair. Okay, guys. So now let's look at how to set SMART goals. I mean, let's break it down so that anybody who is listening to us will know that, okay, so we've been hearing goal setting and all that. It's not too out of the blues. How do we set goals that are SMART? Because sometimes we set goals and we are not able to achieve them. It can depress us. It can put a lot of stress on us. So how do we make sure that even the goals we are setting are SMART? And I'm sure by SMART, we all know what I'm talking about.
No, please.
So by SMART, I mean that your goals are specific, they are measurable, they are achievable and time-bound. Because there are some goals that are not SMART that can frustrate your life. You see, I mean, I have set goals in the past that were not smart, until I got to understand goal setting. I realized that there were certain goals I was setting in the past that were not smart because they were not achievable, they were not time bound. Do you get it? But since I got to understand that my goals must be smart, I think I have been setting better goals. Yeah. So how do we make sure that our goals are smart?
Well, first of all, set the goal. First of all,
set the goal.
Set
that
the
is
goal.
too huge for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So set the goal in the sense that you can't just be there and okay, I have it in mind. I want to do this. Write it down.
Okay.
That's the first step. Write it down. Okay, maybe I want to get my master's done.
Okay.
Okay, you write it down.
Okay.
Now, the next one is make sure it's realistic. Be real with yourself. Okay, be real with yourself. Can I afford to pay for a master's? Ask yourself all the questions, all the possible questions that will come up. And make sure this goal you are setting, you're not setting for the sake of
setting goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you make sure that this goal I'm setting is something that I can achieve. It's something that is not too far-fetched from me.
Okay.
You cannot say, I want to have twins, or I want to have a child by next year, July, and you don't even have a boyfriend.
It's possible. Our miracle working God is still this miracle working stay agents, please.
Miracles.
No, but that is an interesting thing though. Like, let me make it more interesting.
Okay.
Like, you want to have a child by July, right? And we are in
September.
In September.
The last day of September.
Yeah, so even in calculation,
it's not possible.
it might not be possible.
Yeah.
And then also maybe you say no sex.
Yeah.
No sex, no. You don't want to. Nothing to go in.
There's no process.
Yeah, so no process, but you want to have a child. So that kind of goal.
That one God cannot do miracle.
You see?
No, I don't want to. Charlie, I don't want anybody to come after me, but I mean, God can still do it. But
unless He's bringing second Jesus.
You get it.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I think I get what you said.
So yes, be real with yourself. Just make sure the goals you are setting. Now, I cannot sit here and say I want to be like Despite in 5 years. Ever. It took Despite decades to get there. So why not break it down? Maybe the ultimate goal is to be like Despite.
Okay.
That one is there.
Yeah.
But narrow it down, break it down, bring it to your level. Okay, now this is where I am. What's the next step? Okay, maybe I have 1,000 cities. My next goal is to have 10,000, maybe within a period of 6 or 8 months.
Okay.
Then when you get that, okay, 10,000. Okay, then let's do 100,000.
Okay.
Like that. You climb the ladder as
I like that point. So breaking it down to be more specific.
Yes.
So that you can actually tackle it.
Yes.
With a time frame
Okay,
that is more realistic.
Let's use school for instance. You are in school. You want to get first class.
Okay.
When you graduate. You're in level 100. Stop thinking about project work.
Okay.
Stop thinking about stop imagining yourself wearing the gown and the congratulatory message.
So start with focusing on getting your A's in level 100.
Now you are doing 8 courses. Yeah. Focus on getting a minimum B+.
Okay.
That way you pick it from there. Okay, so you check the past semester. Okay, I was looking for 8B. I had 6. Okay, there's room for improvement.
Okay.
You take it like that step by step, and before you realize, you are closer to your goal.
That's true, though. Yeah. You want to add up?
Yeah, I think Selassie has said it all, and I think the key thing in setting a goal is not like he said the goal itself, but the process that leads to the goal. So you don't set a goal of okay, I want to maybe at the age of 30, I would want to have my first car, maybe be successfully employed, and then you sleep.
Yeah, I think that is what
you are
most
in Ghana, or you are in Ghana.
what most of the youth
Yeah.
We do.
And you
We
go and
just
sleep.
leave it blank.
Yes.
By age 40,
I will do this.
I will be married with kids, own my house, and have a car written and printed.
But we don't. We leave out the processes that
must
lead
lead us
to
there.
the goal. That is a critical thing that we have to do. Because I read a book that says that the one who lost the marathon and the one who won, they all had a goal to win.
True.
The difference between the one who won and the one who did not win is the process that they all went through.
Yeah.
The one who won probably was training tirelessly, deprived himself or herself of certain things, and then worked tirelessly so that
I'm sure he stopped taking alcohol.
Probably.
Yeah.
And probably stopped having sex. I don't know whether does that contribute to. But the point is that the person put in that effort. And trained for that. If you probably go and look at the things that they all did, it might be one small thing that the winner did extra.
True.
That pushed him or her to the finishing line earlier than the one who came second. So the key thing in setting goals are what are the things I have to do to get to this point that I want to get to.
That's true.
And it comes with a lot of discipline.
It does.
People are living lives that they've not earned. And when I say living lives that they've not earned, they are rolling with some big boys or big girls who have, through whichever means, have their cars and are able to afford weekend partying. And you are a young girl like me, trying to figure out life, and you are friends with these people and you want to roll with them, forgetting that you are not there.
Okay.
So when they're going for parties, you also follow them.
Yeah.
They've paid their dues.
Okay.
They've probably struggled, whatever they could have not struggled to get what they have, but whatever they did to get what they have it. But you also should have a plan. So instead of rolling with people that will not sit, probably you'll not be able to sit down and discuss your state now because they are far ahead of you. You have to be able to know the process that will take you to that point before you start eating the profits. Okay. You're rolling with the people.
Yeah. So instead of understanding how they got to where they are and following through that steps to get there, you just assume once you are with them, you are there.
You're like, even
so the little you
process, get, you spend with them. Even knowing their process might not be very, very significant because, believe you me, people have so many processes, So based on what your beliefs are and how you want to, so someone, maybe I would say by age 35, I would want to get my first car.
Okay.
Another lady will also say by age 35, I'll get my first car. But our process will be different.
That's true.
Maybe she will go look for someone who will buy the car for her. Yeah. But that will be like, I want to buy the car with my own money. Yes. So our processes wouldn't be the same. So I will start thinking about, okay, if I want to buy my first car by age 35, what kind of job am I doing now?
Okay, how much am
I earning? Can that get me that car I want? Am I looking for a particular car or I just want a means of transport?
Yeah.
All these things, you are being specific.
You are being specific.
That's the first word of the smart, right? You are being specific. You don't just say, I want a car.
Yeah.
I want a car. How much am I earning now? Yeah. Which kind of car can it afford me at age 35?
That's true.
What can I do to get that amount of money? Okay, so I get 2,000. How much can I save? If I save 2,000 for the next, maybe 500 for the next 5 years, how much will I get? Will it be enough to buy the car? If it's not enough, where do I get the surplus from? Can I
if that amount, I'm not cutting you, but if that amount, let's say you are raising, can afford a Matis, and then your planned car is a Corolla LE, then it means that your goal is not realistic.
It's not realistic.
Yeah.
So that's why I said you have to even look at, do you want a particular car? Or you just want a means of, people want a particular car. So they will stress themselves to get that. Yeah. Someone also wants a means of transport. So if it matters that the person can afford, the person works towards that. So you have to be specific on the goal that you want to achieve.
I also want to add
and work towards that.
You need to remind yourself of your goals every day.
Yes, that is important.
So there's so many ways of doing that. You can choose to, write it on a piece of paper, stick it on the wall somewhere, or you can go digital, write it on your phone, and set a reminder to it. So every morning you wake up, okay, I have to do this.
So this is like a way you motivate yourself.
Yes. So every day it's in mind.
To get along with your goal.
First class. I want to get that first class. So when you wake up and you see it on the wall, GPA 4.5 or above, then you know that weekend party will not get me 4.5.
But somebody could.
That's what I'm kind of based on who you are.
Who you are.
Right.
Yes.
So it's very, very important to be self-aware.
If you know that, Charlie, the head, really day like that.
And partying every weekend will not help you.
And you see Kofi Mensah every Friday night.
But he'll get his A.
You get his A.
Yeah.
But you are not the same. So that's why it's very, very important to know yourself.
Know yourself. So
I think we spoke about that.
Be real with yourself.
Yeah, you have to know yourself.
Know that there are people who can how do you call it? Read a page and capture it.
Yeah. Some even just have to be present at the lecture.
Right.
Yeah,
and that is it.
Someone will read, write, close the book, open, read again, and they can still forget.
Yeah,
Everyone is different. So know yourself. Okay, I need to get that 4.5 GPA. What do I have to do? These boys are partying. Yes, it's cool to party, but no, it doesn't align with my goals. So you cast that away and stick to things that will make you achieve your goals. And by and by, you get there.
And maybe I'll just add this. I don't know our religious beliefs, but for me as a Christian too, in setting your goals and writing it down, reading it every day, if you believe in Jesus, you know that it's He who you will set the goals. But
Preach.
Allow me to preach. So yeah, your goals, you can set your goals, but it's God who allows us to achieve our goals.
That's true.
And Familia has a song that says, "When you bless me, give me long life to enjoy it."
Yeah.
So you have to pray.
That's important.
Pray for God's guidance.
So whatever you believe in, right?
Yes, whatever you believe in. But
so
as a Christian,
I believe in God.
Yeah, so
I'm definitely going to go to God.
I'll pray to my God to even direct to ask which path to take.
Yeah.
Because you might even think, oh, this is what I want to get at the end of the day, but that might not be your purpose. You might have your plan, but that might not be a plan that He has for you.
Okay.
His will is always perfect. So it's always good after you knowing what you want for yourself, commit it to His hands and believe that He's the best person to direct you.
Yeah. All right. That's an interesting thing. 2 or 3 questions, then we can wrap up on this topic. But first, I want to know, is it possible to be successful without goals?
No.
Oh, are you sure? Some people have become successful without having goals. So is it possible?
It depends on the kind of success you're talking about.
No, I mean in anything we can have, because if we want to look at goals, we can have different types of goals, right? We can have relationship goals, career goals, spiritual goals. I mean, any type, financial goals and all that.
But nothing good comes by
without a goal set.
By luck, no. Unless maybe talking about financial, for instance. Yeah, if your dad dies and they hand over the property,
that's
to you.
accidental success.
Yeah, man.
Okay, we'll just transfer to you.
That.
Yeah. So that could also happen, but it's once in a million, right?
Yeah, it hardly happens. But I mean, if you're talking about specific goals, world-class goals, I mean, standards that are up there, I mean, you need to set.
Yeah, do you agree?
I
Being successful in any...
I would differ a bit in the sense that, you see, when we say goal setting, I think most of the time we talk about being intentional.
Yes,
and saying this is what I want. And maybe probably writing it down and flowing through.
Yeah.
But there are people that they know what they want, but they might not necessarily write it down or follow through. Yeah. But they live their life in such a way that it's like they are
still aligned towards what they want
ahead of them. So it might not be the classical
setting of
goals the way we want it to be. Yeah. But the person has will be something that he's looking forward to. And so lives his or her life in that life. There could even be someone who doesn't even have anything but Obo Brano. He or she understands certain principles in life.
So the principles are serving like a guide for the goals.
So he's just applying principles. Okay, yes, I'm in school. I'm going to school.
Yeah.
I know, say if you go to, you have to study. I'm studying.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the day, when you're first class, maybe he never even, that wasn't his or her target.
Yeah.
There's no
But when
yeah. So you might have the principles and might not have technically set the goals.
Okay.
But you might find yourself there because you followed a process.
Yes. So what you're saying in essence is that even if you have not set goals, there still must be principles that must keep you in the process, to get you to
as the general kind of life that we all look for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's possible to become successful without setting goals. Technical
goals, like
like you put it.
Hard goals.
Okay.
Like it's like soft copy goals.
All right.
Soft goals.
That is now I want you guys to share with us a favorite goal setting framework or a methodology. What's your methodology? Maybe I'll start with mine.
Okay.
So for example, I used to have wild goals, very crazy and wild goals. Then over the years I got frustrated because they seem not achievable, or I felt that I was doing everything I could but I was not getting to where I want to get to.
Yeah.
So now I learned to be smart about it. I started to just break it down. Instead of setting, let's say, 10 or 5 goals in a year, I say, no, let me just set 1 or 2 goals. Goals that I think that are within my remit, that I can really discipline myself enough and push towards it. So if I look at financial goal, I just pick, let's say, 1. Maybe I want to build a saving culture. I will not start with just, I want to save, but I look at the culture. How do I make sure that savings become a culture of mine, that I don't have to struggle to save? Then instead of saying that maybe I have to save 40% of my income, where maybe the 100% is not even enough to survive me, I just want to build a culture. So instead of being keen on the percentage, I just need a culture, so that I know that no matter how little I am putting something down. But if I have something specific that I want to achieve within the next 6 months, then I know that within 6 months, this is how much I want to save every day in order to get this particular thing. So I decided that I want to reduce the number of goals I set in a year to just 1 or 2, and work tirelessly and make sure that I achieve them. And I mean, when I started practicing this 2-3 years ago, I don't get stressed. I'm encouraged. I see progress.
Right.
I see myself achieving the goals I set, because now I don't burden myself with a lot of goals. So I just break it down. I pick 1 or 2. I say, no, this year I have life. If it's academic goal, what can I do? So for example, if it's academic and I want to do a master's degree, I will not set the targets for the year's master's degree, but my goal will be getting a form for a master's program, because that's where it's going to start from. So once I buy the form, I have achieved that goal. So I try to break it down to the minute part of the goal, and I don't exaggerate. I try to also know myself. Charlie, there are some goals that you need to actually build, some strength before you can bring those goals.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So that is what I think, that is my personal framework or methodology that has been working for me in this few years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So with me, first of all, when you go back in the video, just take the things I mentioned, and then now make a move. Okay, you set the goals. Everything has been outlined. All the questions have been answered. I mean, everything is set. Make a move. Let me use myself as an example. I set a goal a few years back that the coming year, so it was in 2020. So I was like, in 2021, I should be driving my own car. And at first I was a bit, scared. But hey, I met them all, started talking to people. Bear in mind, I wasn't even having a driver's license. So the first thing is you make a move.
Yeah.
Try to get a driver's license.
Yeah.
So I started talking to friends who own garages, people who had connections to DVLA and all of that. just to find out how much it costs to get a driver's license. So I found out how much it costs. Now let's mobilize money
and get it
to get a driver's license. So we did that. I got a driver's license, and now we need to get the car. How do we get the car? Negotiations, talking to people here and there, do this, do that, small money, deposit. And before I realized,
you've gotten it.
I got it.
Right.
Even though I didn't get it outright, but at least I still have it.
You still have it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So make a move, and hey, don't stop until you get what you want. I can't stress this enough.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Even if you have to divert for a while,
you don't have to forget about the goal.
Don't stop. Like don't
when you get tired, you rest.
Yeah, you don't stop.
You don't stop.
Just keep going. Especially if you know this is what you want, don't stop. Just keep going. And when you get it, then you can be like, yeah, finally I have
Charlie.
it.
All right.
Yeah, so for me, I honestly don't have a particular methodology, but recently I learned something which has to do with the process that goes to getting what you want. And what I have learned that I would want to share is that don't focus so much on the goal. And I think Selassie has said it in different ways. Focus on the process that leads to the goal.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And now that is what I'm applying to my life now.
Yeah.
Getting to the process right, the systems right. If you get the systems right, the likelihood that you get the goal is higher than having the goal and not getting the systems right. And let's also not forget that you might set goals, but it's not always going to be as smooth.
That's true.
And you're not always going to achieve them. It's normal to set goals and not achieve them, or have processes and fail at one point in time. Let's be soft on ourselves. Me, I can be very hard on myself. I can beat myself for doing something I told myself I'm not going to do again. Or I should have done this and I didn't. I can be very hard. But I think it's something that we should all learn how to do. I'm not saying be happy when you fail.
Sure.
But when you fail, acknowledge that yes, you did. What can you do better? But don't stay there for too long.
Okay.
And move on.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
Interesting. That's an amazing information for our viewers and our listeners. And I think one important thing I want us to tell everybody, I want everybody to know, is that it is okay to fail. Acknowledge it, but don't stay there for too long. It's always exciting to come your way on Just Me podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been another interesting and exciting episode. Will come your way same time next week. But for now, it's Just Me Vibes on Lock. See ya.
See ya. I don't drink.
And drink some for you.